Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
After a 3-year pause, student loan payments are back. Why some people still have questions and where experts say you should start looking.
She don't care about the business. We fire her, and we also.
This Chinese restaurant with a long history of low scores had nothing to say when Tim Gerber stopped by. The latest violations inspectors found behind their kitchen door. But first.
The battle over the border continues tonight. Today, President Joe Biden saying his administration has no choice but to build about 20 miles more on a southern border wall.
The Biden administration waiving 26 laws so that construction can continue in the Rio Grande Valley.
And Biden, who made a campaign promise to not add to that wall, says he tried and failed to redirect funds that were already established by former President Donald Trump in 2019.
And when questioned about the construction, the president defended the move, saying he was powerless.
The border wall, the money was appropriated for the border wall. I tried to get them to reappropriate, to redirect that money. They didn't, they wouldn't. And in the meantime, there's nothing under the law other than they have to use the money for what was appropriated. I can't stop that.
The president also went on to say he does not believe border walls are a solution.
This all comes at a time when a recent surge of migrants coming into the U.S. has put a strain on federal and state resources. This is video from El Paso showing a crowd rushing towards the United States border as they were celebrating and chanting, "Estamos unidos, we are united." Another big question that's still being asked, are the floating barriers in the Rio Grande near Eagle Pass against the law?
Yeah, that's the answer state attorneys are waiting for after arguments were made in a federal appeals court today. Right now, it is unclear when that final decision will come. The Department of Justice believes the floating barrier illegally blocks navigable waters. Texas argues that stretch of the Rio Grande is not navigable.
And here in San Antonio, many are coming together to do what they can for migrants in need. This was the scene just a few hours ago on San Pedro, not far from North Star Mall. It's where Humbled to Serve Ministries, along with several other organizations, came together, bringing food, clothes, and a sense of hope for anyone in need.
Yeah, we spoke with Regina Navarro, a pastor with Humbled to Serve Ministries, about their mission.
They're hungry. They just want someone to care for them. They've lost all hope. They've lost family. So today we're bringing hope, and we just see the smiles.
Navarro says this is an event they will continue every Thursday. Meanwhile, Governor Greg Abbott released his agenda for the third legislative special session of the year. He is asking lawmakers to further crack down on illegal immigration and pass education savings accounts for school children. The special session starts on Monday. You can read more about it on KSAT.com.
It was a beautiful sight earlier this morning, waking up to the rain. Usually that makes it difficult to wake up and get going. I don't know about you, but today it was actually motivating. 1.41 inches in the rain gauge officially at the airport, with even higher amounts in some other locations. We'll look at the radar estimates in a bit. I want to point out our high temperature today, 82 degrees. That happened around 4:30 a.m. And now we've ended our streak of consecutive 90-plus degree days. We had a run of 119 days in a row where the high temperature in town was at least 90 degrees. And get ready for a taste of fall. That's right around the corner. Talk about when the humidity gets swept away and how much temperatures will drop in a bit.
Thanks for that, Adam. Only took us till October 5th to get out of the 90s, I guess. And speaking of weather, a quick update for students at Alamo Heights High School. As of tonight, classes are set to resume tomorrow morning. School was canceled today due to power outages in the area.
A former Bernie area gymnastics coach is going to prison. This man right here, Michael Spiller, will spend 10 years behind bars after authorities say he sexually abused several young girls. That sentence was handed down today. Bernie police said Spiller abused the children while they attended his kids camp. In a previous KSAT report, police said they received more reports of sexual assault and molestation involving Spiller beginning in 2001. Multiple victims have since come forward.
An update tonight on a dog attack that happened last month where the owner allegedly let his dog out to attack a man. A judge has ordered the dog involved in that attack to be euthanized. Marcus Davila is accused of letting his dog bite a man on the neck after the two got into an argument at the intersection of North Colorado and West Martin. He's being charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and dangerous dog attack with serious bodily injury. Both are felonies.
Classes put on hold after a gun was found on campus. That's what happened at Steele High School today. And to be clear, no one was hurt and no shots were fired. The school's principal says a student was showing off a picture of a gun, and that got reported to a teacher. A campus resource officer was able to find the student and discovered an unloaded gun and ammunition. The student was detained by Cibolo police and will not return to that campus. The school was locked down for about 25 minutes while the hallways were swept. A letter was sent to parents detailing everything that happened today. We also want to remind you again, if you see something, say something. It will save lives.
Now, federal student loan borrowers are facing payments once again, this after a 3-year pause. The Night Team's Avery Everett explains how after 8 extensions of the pause, lots of people now have lots of questions.
I had to do what I had to do.
To get her degree, Patricia Bolin had to make a big decision.
I really wanted to go to school and just make a better life for myself.
To make it to graduation day, student loans were her only option. Now, nearly a decade later, Bolin's distant memories of college come with $30,000 in debt.
I have my hands in a lot of different pots just to be able to survive.
As of this month, the pause on federal student loan repayment has been lifted. 28 million borrowers, including Bolin, are now back on the hook.
It's been a roller coaster with that.
The 3-year break in payments is ending just months after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. Christina Randall works at My Education Solutions, a student loan management firm here in San Antonio. She says her phones haven't stopped ringing since that decision.
It is pretty confusing, especially when websites are going up and down and information is pretty spotty.
She says the best place to get started is logging into your federal student aid portal. Find out who your servicer is, and then log into your servicer portal.
There's still a lot of movement that's happening at the servicer level, but it is getting better, and they're going to get closer. We're only a couple days in.
An already confusing process getting clogged up by high demand.
It's been pretty crazy.
For Bolin, it all comes down to business.
Right now, I'm working Uber. I have my business that I run, and then also I do custom shoes as well.
Trying to find stability.
I just have to find a way to make it.
And trying to survive. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
And Governor Abbott is setting aside over $5 million in veterans assistance grants. And that money will go to services for thousands of veterans and their families in San Antonio and the Hill Country.
An Asian buffet that barely passed health inspection earlier this year failed their August inspection. But the owner tells the Night Team's Tim Gerber he's made some major changes since then. And Tim revisits a Chinese restaurant that has had repeated problems behind their kitchen door.
Kin's Cafe, located in the 7800 block of I-35 South, got a failing score of 68 on their August health inspection. That's 3 points lower than the score they got earlier this year when they were first featured on BKD. Food kept at improper temps had to be thrown out. Fly traps were found above a food prep area, while a metal tray was found stacked on top of ready-to-eat meat. An employee cooking meats couldn't answer the inspector's questions about food temperatures. The interior of the ice machine had a buildup of black and yellow residue. They were told to remove all dead pests and show proof of pest control receipts. They were also told to stop using old cans to store food items. Several violations were repeats. It had been several weeks since the failed inspection, so I stopped by this week to see if the business had made any improvement. Owner Ricky Liu says he's disappointed by the low scores, pinning much of the blame on a former manager he let go.
She don't care about the business. We fire her, and we also talked to the inspector Rose. Okay. She will check it. She come back, respect it again. She say everything okay.
Liu says he's hired a new manager and has taken a more hands-on role with the business. He says they're getting monthly pest control services and hopes to have a higher score at their next inspection. Beijing Express, located in the 8,000 block of Marbach, has been featured on BKD multiple times, most recently this past March when they had a 70. They improved a few points up to a 76 on their August inspection. All of the food in a cold hold unit was too warm. None of the employees washed their hands during the inspection. All of the equipment needed to be cleaned top to bottom, and the entire business was in need of a good cleaning. A side door was found left open, and we also found a door wide open when we stopped by. I tried to ask some questions. This employee at the front desk said she would get a manager, but a few minutes later asked us to leave.
Do you want to, will somebody talk to me about your scores?
No. According to health department records, the last time the business had a score above 80 was way back in September of 2019 when they got an 82. For Behind the Kitchen Door, Tim Gerber, KSAT 12 News.
San Antonio International Airport is adding more international flights. Where and when you can expect to book.
Construction on a new project has begun at SeaWorld San Antonio. How it'll serve you and the park.
The San Antonio International Airport is expanding its international service yet again with even more direct flights to Mexico. Querétaro is the new travel spot with Viva Aerobus offering low-cost direct flights. The trip will start on December 1st and fly 2 times per week, joining the airport's already existing group of Mexican flights to Guanajuato, Mexico City, and Monterrey. You can book flights on the airline's website.
It's October 5th. I don't even know what I'm going to be doing for Halloween or what I'm going to dress up as, but we're already talking about Fiesta. San Antonio is already getting ready for next year's Battle of Flowers parade with multiple announcements this week.
Yeah, for example, the theme will be Viva Amor, and it will start 1 hour earlier at 10:30 in the morning. We also got to look at next year's Battle of the Flowers Fiesta medal. It features the mountain laurel wildflower, and next year's Grand Marshal has been chosen as San Antonio Food Bank CEO Eric Cooper.
I am so humbled to have the privilege to represent our city, the incredible staff here at the food bank, our thousands of volunteers and donors, to be the Grand Marshal of the Battle of Flowers Parade.
And you'll get the chance to ride on a float adorned with themed decorations as the parade goes through downtown San Antonio. We've got new details on a big change coming to SeaWorld San Antonio. Today, the park announced it's in the beginning stages of installing a state-of-the-art solar parking lot canopy. Here's a look at the work on the project so far. It's in the VIP section of the parking lot, and the canopy will shade around 1,200 spots. And once completed, the canopy will produce about 16% of the park's electricity. The project is expected to be completed and fully energized by August of 2024.
All right, taking a live look outside. I woke up this morning and I heard something I hadn't heard in a very long time. And I had to go out and say, what is this? It was rain.
Yeah, and the rumbling noise, that wasn't your neighbor's garbage can or recycling can going out to the curb. It was actually thunder. It was good. It was so nice to have all that this morning, some good rainfall. Humidity, it's going to be dropping Friday afternoon. So the cold front moved through, but the really noticeably drier air and cooler air, the taste of fall, that's lagging behind the front a bit. It's going to be here, especially for this weekend. And we're going to have some of the coolest temperatures since April 30th. And this is what I'm talking about right here. Look at our morning low temperature trend. Still a mild morning tomorrow at 67. Saturday morning, we're down to 60. Right now, I think Sunday morning, we could very well dip into the mid 50s, and that would be the coolest since April 30th. And even Monday morning, 59. Then, of course, next week, temperatures bounce back up again. The newest drought monitor is in. Keep in mind, this does not include the rainfall we had last night and this morning. But most of Texas in drought, 80% of Texas considered in drought. And you see the exceptional and extreme drought over our area, overlay the rainfall on top of it. It's nice to see soaking heavy rainfall in the very drought-stricken parts of South and Central Texas. And actually, many of these locations farther to the north up in the hill country actually picked up over 2 inches of rain from the cold front that moved through and the thunderstorms and heavy rainfall that accompanied it. Here's a look at some of our rainfall estimates, according to Authority Radar. And the yellows on the screen, keep in mind that indicates a minimum of 2 inches estimated by the radar. That's eastern Lavaca County. In and around Hallettsville, 1.4, Moulton about 1.9. We go westward, south side of Seguin here, just south of I-10, over 2 inches. In and around San Antonio and Bexar County, it really varied. Over an inch in parts of the north side, under half an inch parts of the south side. And it was good to see this around Medina Lake Reservoir, over 2 inches, parts of Bandera County, city of Bandera, 2.1 estimated. Go to Bergheim, 1 inch, Bernie, 1.7, Leon Springs, 1.8. You get the idea. It's just good news. I like to bring you the good news. And this is an actual rain gauge from Canyon Lake. The estimates were just over an inch, and this had just over an inch of rain from Canyon Lake. So that was good to see. We also have 2.5 inches around 1604 in UTSA, and then it set the stage for a beautiful sunset. The clouds departed a little bit, just enough to give us a lot of color, and then a reflecting sunset because we have puddles for a change. It's nice to have that. It's the little things that I'm never taking for granted. Again, clouds and puddles. 73 right now. The dew point's at 69. That's the key here. I want to talk about that. There's lower humidity off to the north. It's in North Texas and even up the plains. That drier air is going to make it here. It's just going to take some time. Very sticky and muggy out there. Dew point's upper 60s, near 70 around town. Tomorrow, we start the day sticky and humid. Dew point is 67. Then by the afternoon, after lunch, the dew points fall off. And tomorrow mid-afternoon and especially tomorrow evening, it's going to feel great outside. We're sweeping away the humidity. It's going to feel much better. So temperature-wise, tomorrow 67 at sunrise, 78 at noon, 86 for the high temperature. And get out of here, humidity, for the latter half of the afternoon, and especially for any high school football games. Tomorrow evening is going to be a beautiful evening to get out, something we haven't felt in quite some time, actually a refreshing breeze out of the north. Castroville tomorrow, 86, Bulverde, 83, New Braunfels, 87, Floresville, 87, and Sabinal topping out at 85. But check out the weekend. We're talking high temperatures in the mid-70s. 77 for the high on Saturday. Sunday, very similar, 76, low humidity. A bit breezy on Saturday, you'll notice it, but I don't think you'll complain about it because it's that nice, cool breeze. Good taste of fall. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm in a good mood tonight.
Just a little fall
it's
weather
great.
and some football to get him excited about fall.
Exactly. Thanks for that, Kasky. And make plans outside for the weekend. Now, for big game coverage, we have a mythical matchup. The Knights and the Unicorns.
And the Unicorns.
I love that mascot.
Absolutely love this matchup. So the Steel Knights were off last week due to a bye week, so they're the number one team in 12's top 12 6A, 5A rankings. They're back in action against New Braunfels tonight. And in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys are preparing for a first when it comes to their offensive line coming up.
Streaming now.
We're about $500 to $600 a month on water usage.
Their water bill more than doubled from 1 month to the next after a pipe sprung a leak.
We had a break. The ground movement happens all over San Antonio. A few weeks later, we get a bill in the mail for 1 million gallons of water, $15,580.
That's just ridiculous.
They've been bullying us, intimidating us.
Now SAWS says it's time to pay up or have the water shut off. KSAT investigates the water company's policies on outrageously high bills.
Streaming now on these platforms.
After a week off, the number one ranked Steel Knights resumed District 27 6A play. New Braunfels Unicorns tonight. First quarter action, Steel ball. Chad Warner is going to hand it off to Jonathan Hatton, and he rips off a 17-yard touchdown run. Point after was good, and it's 7-0 Knights. Later in the first, same score. Warner throws the ball to Sammy Harris in the flat, and Harris does the rest. Check it out. He slips through a defender, then just outruns the defense to the end zone. That's a 61-yard touchdown. The Knights go up 13-7, and Steel wins by a final of 27-14. Time for a 29 6A matchup at the Gus between the Holmes Huskies and the 8th-ranked Jay Mustangs. First quarter, JQB Jackson Gutierrez goes over the top to Diego Quiros. That's with a 30-yard reception down to the 3-yard line. Moments later, Jack Mota scores from 3 yards away. The 2-point conversion was good, and Jay leads 8-0. Later in the first, Jay strikes again as Fotok Mark was trying to leave Jackson Gutierrez on the QB keeper, and he snaps off a 46-yard touchdown run for John Jay to make it 16-0 Mustangs. And Jay wins 53-25, improving to 7-0 overall and 5-0 in district. The Divine Warhorses invaded Alamo Stadium to face the YMLA Lions in a District 14 4A2 opener for both teams. Third quarter, Warhorses up 14-7. They're about to get more. The toss goes to Sam Guardiola. He appears to get wrapped up, but Sam breaks free and then finds nothing but open space in front of him, and that will go down as a 37-yard touchdown run to make it 21-7 Divine. Let's go to the scoreboard now for this final and more. Divine takes it 35-14. Number 6 Misson Valley beats Kyle Naaman 42-7. Sam Houston defeats Lanier by a final 27-17. And in a few more scores for you, we've got Marshall over Lee 38-14, and Laredo Nixon was 2 better than Medina Valley 16-14.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
All right, if all goes as planned, the Dallas Cowboys will have all 5 starting offensive linemen together Sunday night at San Francisco, and just in time for that huge NFC showdown. That lineup is left tackle Tyron Smith, left guard Tyler Smith, center Tyler Biadasz, right guard Zach Martin, and right tackle Terrence Steele. So through 4 games this season, Steele's the only starter not to miss time. This is a massive game for the Cowboys, so having their best O-line out there versus that Niners D-line is huge.
I mean, it's awesome. I'm glad that everybody is back for this matchup. You know, obviously this is going to be a great game. You know, there's obviously a lot of history there. Like, you know, nobody can forget that. But it's going to be great. It really is.
Oh, it'd be huge. I mean, we were talking about it today. We haven't had a game, obviously, this year, and, you know, a little bit of a different lineup last year. So this group of 5 have never played a game together. So we're excited to go out there and you know, go to work.
Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons, who was limited today with a knee issue, is defending Jets QB Zach Wilson and Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, who are both taking a beating on social media. Parsons said he's just calling out the social media bullies and also says people need to be more mindful of how they talk. Wembanyama and the Spurs are less than 3 weeks away from their regular season and home opener with the Dallas Mavericks on October 25th. Training camp is giving us a chance to talk with some members of the Spurs for the first time since they drafted Wemby with the overall #1 draft pick back in June. 7th-year guard Devontae Graham is impressed with all the things Wemby can do on the court.
I was just like, this guy gonna be good. You know, once he gets settled in and, you know, put on a little bit of muscle, even without it, you know, he's still talented, skilled, can play inside out. He does some freakish things that you guys gonna see come season time, so yeah.
He does some freakish things is a common phrase used by NBA players when it comes to describing Wemby's game. Josh Young is still trying to find his rhythm after the break. The Texas Rangers swept the Tampa Bay Rays 2 games and then in the wild card round to advance to the ALDS where they'll face the Baltimore Orioles. Josh Young came through in a big way yesterday in Game 2, going 3 for 4 with an RBI triple and 2 runs scored. He went 0 for 4 in the Rangers' Game 1 win. Young, who missed 6 weeks with a fractured left thumb, returned to the lineup on September 18th, so he's still trying to find his groove at the plate.
I wouldn't say I'm all the way back, but it is a huge confidence boost. No matter, you know, how it's feeling, I'm going to give you my best every single night. And, I mean, yeah, when you miss 6 weeks and try to jump back in, you're going to go through your ups and downs. But it's a huge confidence boost for me today.
The Rangers will open the best-of-5 ALDS at Baltimore Saturday at noon. Game 2 is Sunday at 3 p.m. Game 3, perhaps Game 4 will go down in Arlington. Game 5, if necessary, is Friday the 13th at Baltimore. So Young, of course, is from San Antonio. The Orioles have Jordan Westberg, who's from New Braunfels.
Good stuff. I love October baseball, and I would love nothing more to see a Texas showdown with the Astros and the Rangers in the next round.
Yes.
Go Rangers.
Thanks for that, Larry.
We'll be right back.
Okay, I'm not the biggest fashionista, but before we go, we want to tell you about Crocs new kicks that every Texan may want to get a hold of.
Yeah, the footwear company is launching the Crocs Classic Cowboy boots for Croctober. The company says the cowboy boot has been one of the most widely requested designs in the brand's history.
They'll be released for a limited time on